Hi everyone, I am Mo. You usually see my hands busy talking on my camera view. So today I'm a little decked up because I was filming for a class that's going to come out sometime in September, I believe. I'll give you more details as the time gets close by. And I thought, I have never actually shown my face on any of my vlogs. So here's my face, here's me, and all those who watch, and some of you tell me in person, some of you leave me comments, and some of you email me as to what you liked about what I said, where you could relate and resonate with what I had to say. So, I hope you keep coming back and watching, because we are all, trying to go through one journey or another. And if we could encourage each other along the way, how beautiful is that? So having said that, I'm going to take us back to the table view so I can share all of the, it's a visual thing most of the time. So I like my table view, and I'm too lazy to take myself up Sunday mornings. I'm just still so sleepy, but it is a good opportunity to say hi to you. And so, hi, and I will see you with my vlog. Happy Sunday everyone, welcome to my vlog for the last 2 weeks. That is the first 2 weeks of June. Last week I just had so much to do. It was the start of summer, and it just was, there was just too much to do for me to even make 5 minutes to make something meaningful and share. Sometimes that is what holds me back, that is this something meaningful to even share. So here we are. I hope I have something that is valuable to you today. On my vlog I share my journey, my creative, spiritual, transformative journey of life in general. Yes, of course there is a huge focus on my creativity, what I'm making, who I'm making it for, how is it making meaning for my life, and all of those things, and what am I learning along the way, and where I am trying to expand, and what I'm letting go. So and increasingly what I'm noticing is that many opportunities that I have not taken or have bypassed, where because I felt I could not deliver in the sense that my work would not be good enough, or it involves skills and processes that I am not prepared to, or how should I say, that I haven't mastered already. And as I'm growing older, I think the biggest shift that I'm noticing is that yes, I never have done a certain kind of process or work. Hence, it is new to me. Hence, I am not a master. However, I can approach it, I can take that opportunity as a learner. And that kind of has, it was a huge obstacle that I wasn't even aware of that I had. I thought you needed to be a master before you said yes to a project. And I'm not saying that skill is reduced in value because of my shift in thinking. All I'm saying is it is okay to try. It is okay to try and I think it just kind of ties it back down to the perfection thing, like, which I did not know I had an issue with perfection. I just thought, I'm just trying to do good work, and I still value doing good work, and wherever measurements and whatever precision is required, I pay more attention to that. I somehow thought that was all where my perfection was limited. But taking a closer look, where I noticed that no, their perfection has invaded and has embedded itself in me layer by layer by layer, so deep that I don't even recognize it as perfection. So, in that, what I found is, from this desire to be perfect at everything all the time, and we all have different degrees of perfect. You may be way more perfect than I am, and that's beautiful. However, if perfectionism blocks me, scares me to try new things, it kind of defeats the purpose. It's just, I don't even know what I'm saying, if it is going to make sense to, if I'm speaking it, articulating it in a sensible way, or let's say in a perfect way. I'm not doing that, and yeah, as I'm saying it, I'm realizing that there is a big hangover over that. Like, if I cannot say it in the right words, in the exact words, then what's the point of saying it? But if you never say it, if anybody, I think it applies to everybody. If you never do it, how do you get better at it? Let alone perfect. How do you even complete it? So imperfection and all, I am kind of choosing to step away from that, not to sacrifice the quality of work or service, but simply to give myself the opportunity to do things that I have not yet mastered. Okay, that's that. So in having said that, I came upon this on the internet, and yeah, I loved what it said, courage above fear. And nobody's name, like, I don't know who said this in this way, but I liked it. So I made something on a little board for myself to look at, just to remember courage above fear. And that beats perfection. Just to do it and then get better at it. And even if I don't get better at it, at least to enjoy it. So that is my, you can say, self-care gift to myself. So I'm going to put that over here. And I think today's theme is going to be imperfection. I didn't plan it, but that is how it is coming out. So I'm going with the flow. Quite a while back, I bought this little paper, handmade paper making thing on Amazon, and it's tiny. I bought it for my daughter, my youngest, and it came with these two little plastic trays. It came with two screens and a plastic piece. I don't know what the plastic piece does, but it's here. I don't know, maybe it was just dividing the two meshes. So, and it was sitting there. Once I bought it, what I did was I saved a few weeks worth of, flyers and stuff that are newsprint. And then I tore them up in little pieces and I soaked them in water. I had thought that they would just about dissolve overnight. How wrong was I? It took months. Actually, I refreshed the water repeatedly. I don't know if that was the right way of doing it or not, but I did it that way, and that's all I'm sharing. And what I found is that it takes very long for paper fibers to break down to become pulp again. And yes, I could speed up the process with a blender. I did not have a blender that functioned, that I could dedicate to an occasional craft, that we may or may not do, like substantially. You can see from the size of my setup, it makes a 5x7. It looks smaller. I think this tray is 5x7. That is why they called it 5x7. You know how item descriptions are on Amazon. You never know what you're getting till you get it. So I made these two, and this was purely from the paper pulp. What I did is I gave it a little squeeze, and they started to disintegrate a little more, and I just put a little bit, I mean, this is probably totally obvious, but how I did it was I put one screen on top of that blue net tray, and I put my paper pulp in between, the homemade upcycled paper pulp, and then I covered it with this, and then I squeezed water out by pressing it down on the pieces. And as of now, I have made these two pieces, which nobody would understand why they are so delightful to me, because they look ugly, they look ordinary. I mean, they don't look extraordinary, but it is such a joy. They are a pretty thick thing, and my mind is racing in all different directions in the different ways I could use this. And also, like I said, I had saved up a whole bunch of flyers for maybe weeks or months. Like, oh, I'm going to do this. And then I noticed that it takes so little to make one of these. So I recycled the rest because I don't think I have enough life left to upcycle all of those papers, given how little it takes to make this. But I don't know, my mind is very buzzy, like with ideas, just going, like shooting through my brain as to how many ways I can use this. And the beauty is that this was something that was going to go out and go through commercial processes, but I held a few back, and with my own hand I made paper. It's very exciting. I don't know if anybody else can relate, but I believe creative people can. So what else did I do? What else did I do? Actually, a lot of life stuff is happening here. There is a potential residential move that's gonna happen very soon. So, my mind has been kind of busy and caught up, and I don't know. I mean, distracted would be a good word to use there. So I still did what I am supposed to do, but I can say for sure that all these events and stuff, they do suck the joy out of you, in so many ways. And I usually look to change with excitement, but it is also terrifying. Like, again, wrapping up my whole studio, wrapping up the whole house, disrupting the children's life, disrupting everybody's life. But it is what it is. And sometimes, past the immediate disturbance and distraction, there is a better life. There is a better living. And in spirit of that, in honor of that, it is best to keep one step at a time toward forward. I would say just forward. Just keep going and not get stuck in all of the ways that life is imperfect again in this moment. just to be grateful for what is working in a workable way. Doesn't have to be perfect. Perfect, I would probably get very bored with perfect very soon. But it's the quest of that level of mastery that does drive me. So, what else did I do? I filmed a class, like I was saying at the beginning of this video, which is unusual for me to show my face. But yeah, I filmed a class, and those ideas kind of came together. I'm very grateful that despite all of the disturbances going on, that for the person who gave me the opportunity to do that, I cannot disclose anything yet, but know that she's a good friend of mine, and this opportunity came along. And in many ways, I needed to create for that class, to teach that class, and in creating, a lot of things became clear. That was kind of jumbled. With that restful creativity, I had some clarity into the current situations that have been, kind of feel like fog. How do I know what to do next? It's like, just take one step at a time, doing what you know how to do, and then we will see. Nobody knows. And you know what? Even if you live a perfect life, you still don't get out alive. So might as well do what you want to do. And so this is something I made. It was for a blog post for Faber-Castell. And our local libraries in northern Jersey, we have various programs. I learn through those programs. I teach some of those programs. And this is a program for the children's summer at my local library where I work. And it's the craft agenda, what the kids are making. So one of the things was birdhouse painting, which has already taken place. Then there is an upcoming class where we are painting with squeegee. We means, the children are from very young age to a preteen. So they have all different skill levels, different interest levels. Parents bring them, just to see other children and to make something rather than, playing video games. So I take my daughter also. Thankfully, most of the days so far have not been on my shift days, so I could take her. And so we have squeegee painting. I have honestly wanted to do squeegee painting because I see so many lovely things on Instagram and it's so magical to me. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, for my blog post, I kind of did something, all the craft activities that I have signed her up for, and just, a visual representation with the date and what she's doing. And this is going into her journal. She has a sketchbook. She has a sketchbook because I made her a matching sketchbook to mine. And both of us, when I am with her and we are doing something creative, a creative activity that can fit within a sketchbook, I pull that sketchbook out. So this is going to go in her sketchbook if she likes. If not, it will go in my sketchbook because it's just also a memory thing. There is a scrapbooker in me. There is a memory keeper in me, and I think it will remain that way. And maybe the expressions are going to change, but something will always want to cherish, celebrate these events that are so easily forgotten because they are not life-altering. But so I did that with Faber-Castell watercolors. They have a pan water. I think they also have regular watercolors in small tubes, but I prefer to use the pan watercolors because they are very helpful on the go. So that, and I am listening to a ton of audiobooks and I'm enjoying them. One being The Light We Carry by Michelle Obama. I got so sidetracked, so I listened to some other things that were a little more a little lighter in a sense, because what she's saying kind of reverberates through my whole system. So I want to be fully focused and not distracted when I listen. But there are some lighter reads that I have been listening to, just to stay functional when I'm bothered. So that I'm reading this book called Dot Journaling. I was reading another book, but the Flow magazine, they have a book, I think, big book of small, like basically simple living kind of theme. Well, I am probably not don't see myself immediately embracing a very simple minimalist life. I just feel very uncomfortable in minimalism. It's kind of an insecurity thing. However, I really enjoyed the book. And that book, at the end of each chapter, they were recommending other books. So this was one of the books that was recommended. And earlier this year, I started doing the reading. I actually read the whole book, Ryder Carroll's Bullet Journaling. So this is not exactly the same, of course. It has its own angle. And I'm enjoying reading it. It's a very fast read. It's not, basically, and also an encouragement as to there is no right or wrong way of doing these things. And that brings me to my own bullet journal, in which I have not made a mark other than, listing all of the books, audiobooks that I've been reading, so I don't forget, because I'm going through a lot. Going through a lot means I'm going through a lot of books. I'm not suffering. That's not my intention of saying. But, this is going through a lot of books. I have been creative. Yeah, I would say, okay, my definition of creativity is very broad. If I have scripted a video, for example, for a class, say, I would consider that as a creative activity. If I drew or painted, I would consider that a creative activity. If I spent time with my child making something, I would consider that as a creative activity. And so my definition of creativity is rather broad. But again, if you think that you want somewhere where you have work-related creativity, that is different. I include that also in mine. So I have been very creative. Very creative in the sense I have created something or another on each of these days. Oh yeah, cooking is another creative activity, and gardening. For me, these all qualify as creativity. I have meditated more. I suppose, I had been whining, I am not meditating, I would like to. And I guess life gave me an opportunity to meditate. When I complained, some difficulties showed up, and in order for me to be functional, I meditated. So, I'm grateful. Not for the difficulty, but I could not have revamped that meditative routine unless that difficulty showed up and kicked my butt. Am I allowed to say butt? I don't know. So that, and I wanted to share something else that I have made, but I cannot remember for the life of me what it was. But I did make something. My daughter made the bird house, and before that, we made parlor bead keychains. I made a minion. I have to show it to you. Okay, so this is my minion. Okay, is it focusing? Come on. Oh yeah. So this is my minion. I made it, and I am so proud of it. I love it. They put the ring in to make it like, if somebody wanted to hang it with their bags, and I'm not going to do that, but if I want to do something, I've been given a carabiner. So here we are. This is the one my daughter made, and I think this is so cool. She took a very complicated, she made a complicated design because they were just given, those little trays in which you just put the beads to make your design, and she came up with this design. She also made this one in probably like less than 2 minutes, 3 minutes, real quick. But that was fun, doing something with her, like being a kid again. If I can just make this focus. Better. Okay, never mind. Anyway, I think it's telling me to go cook and eat, and that is what I'm going to do. However, this has been my 2 weeks, and one very important thing. On the 10th of June, I went to pick up my prize from the Joanne Creativity Small Business Grant, and I didn't even see what they had set up. I went in and stood there waiting as people were busy checking out. I have never seen a Joanne checkout counter not busy. So I stood there, and then the lady asked me, are you looking for something? I told her, hey, I'm here because I am supposed to pick up here. And she was like, oh, okay, please give me a second. And then she, it became like every employee was called to the front, and I am thinking like, oh God, it's very unexpected, because I was just hoping, okay, I'll go pick up my prize and just come home. And there they were. They showed me that, and I walked in, it was staring me on the face, and I didn't even see that there are like tables set up with my award. There were my prizes were set out there, and it was it was very unexpected, and I felt so shy all of a sudden. I don't consider myself a super shy person, but when people kind of come forward and clap and say congratulations, take pictures, it's kind of a little, I don't know, uncomfortable. Not that I didn't enjoy winning the grant, but that was a little unexpected. And then it was so cute. I went by myself, so they took pictures of me, and there were people who were shopping in the store who were naturally curious, like what's going on. And they also stood for pictures with me and the whole employee crew. It was fun. It was fun. And then I thought about it on my way back, like why I felt so hesitant to collect my prize and all that. And I said, I think it's true probably for everybody. We pray for things, we ask for things, and but we are not very often ready to receive, if that makes sense. Because I should have been overjoyed and making like backflips, and that's how I feel inside. But when it was given to me in that manner, presented to me, it felt so uncomfortable to step into kind of that glory in that moment. So yeah, a lot of the times I have felt in my life there are things I pray for, ask for, work for, that then when it comes to fruition, then I am all of a sudden, oh boy. I don't know. If you feel like that too sometimes, leave me a comment. You don't have to win a grant for that. I'm sure there are other areas in life that are just equally applicable. That's just my pattern in general, not just for this. And so yeah, leave a comment. I would love for this to be a two-way conversation and not just me and my hands talking to a camera. So until next time, bye.